Thank you, everyone. You know, as you can see why we're so excited about our students, because this is really a small, they represent sort of the wider, they're just our students, our community is so rich and wonderful. So I'm just grateful that they were willing to come and share with you today. We have a few minutes for questions, so I want to open up for questions now, either for us or for our students. Please, I open the floor. Oh, we answered all your questions. We were so thorough. Yes.
I guess anybody, probably you or Mr. Whelsky. Fraternal sorority organizations here on campus, are they existent for master's students?
They do not exist here at Harvard. Actually, Harvard has a policy over local autonomy and local authority, so there are technically no nationally affiliated organizations here.
Can we speak on that just in terms of certain students are a part of graduate chapters? I'm not sure which particular fraternity you're a part of, but I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and we have an Omega Psi Phi brother
yes,
as well
I'm
here.
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
So there are definitely opportunities if you're interested in getting involved in a graduate chapter involvement, but not necessarily just specifically tied to Harvard Divinity.
Did I?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. My question was to you: how do you balance nonprofit, being a college pastor, and being a student? You know.
I'm joking. I mean, I think that's something I'm coming to understand now. I think it's been a part of my growth process, being able to try to find and strike that balance. You make the most of all your time. That's really what you do, and I've come to find an even greater respect for pastors and the work that they do, and being in these positions. But also, my nonprofit is my field study, so which actually kind of helps me out a lot. So I'm able to kind of bring it into balance and to bring everything into perspective. But it is a lot. However, I believe I can do all things, and through Christ, for me personally, and that motivates me to do what I need to do. I've always been busy. I mean, I played football in college, so I'm kind of used to having a strenuous schedule. So I've been pretty much prepared for this, but I can honestly say that sometimes it does seem a little heavy at times. But I try to keep myself healthy. Be in groups like Inspire and get to sing, and lay back. Maybe go grab tea with Miss Kerry, with Miss Maloney. I'm sorry, with Kerry, but just do things that actually just relax. So find those times to actually relax and just do you. And then when it's time to do work, do work. I think becoming an adult. You're a junior, right? So you come to find yourself, but you realize you have things to do and you have to do them. And I'm coming to realize, I can't waste time like I did when I was in undergrad. Sometimes, and I did, and you find that you have to assert yourself in many ways, and I feel like there's a greater responsibility. So I don't mind kind of putting a little more on my plate to get those things done.
Great.
No problem.
Yes.
Maybe a quick administrative question and then a question for the students. What's the average age for enrollees in the program?
Yes, the average age is 26. And the range, I believe, is it runs from 21, 22 to 62.
Okay. And then to the students, maybe, what groups would you say are maybe underrepresented faith groups versus overrepresented? I'm just curious, your perception or how you felt.
So I can briefly, so I'm in Islamic studies. I'm Jewish, but I'm very academically interested in Islam. Last year I didn't feel like there were a lot of Muslim students at the school. It was something that really bothered me. And I went to Maritza with it. No, I did. I really, I talked to her about it. I was like, it's really weird being in Islamic studies and not doing it with any Muslim students by my side. And there was a big effort on the part of the administration. They really took my, the suggestions, and I'm sure it came from other people, really seriously. This year, there's a wonderful, very strong Muslim community. I'm so happy about it. I had, there's a fair number, I think, of Jews and Muslims, and I'm very happy with the way that the communities look now.
else want to address that?
I mean, I should have known this, but I wasn't sure. I mean, Harvard's a very diverse place, but you're right. Like maybe some groups are more represented than others, and so I think for me personally, I think there is a particular like Unitarian influence, and I don't think it in a way like overshadows other groups or whatnot. But I think because this is a seminary for Unitarians, that they and for example, not for Catholics, obviously, I mean they do have a particular like influence. I mean, with like a particular historical, you know, groundedness in the Unitarian Church.
So yeah, go ahead.
I would like to just say, add to what Nhu has so wonderfully talked about here, is that this isn't a divinity school exclusively for Unitarian Universalists. It's that if you are a Unitarian Universalist and you are looking to be ordained, this is one of several places that you will be encouraged to attend. And obviously because of the historic connections of the Unitarian movement coming out of Boston and out of this school many years ago, and we have a professor of Unitarian Universalist Studies and all that, this is one of the places you can come and do that and be encouraged by your denomination. So that's an important point to make. But I think there are, and it depends on the people we accept, but then the people who accept our acceptance. The numbers wax and wane, and there are groups that are often in the numeric minority here among us that are not in the numeric minority in the world at large. And we're working with Maritza and the admissions team here. They're doing a beautiful job of trying to make sure that that disparity is lessened as each year goes by, but it really depends on who accepts our acceptance as well as who applies. And who will apply here also depends on what we look like when you get here. So you know, it's a problem that either goes from strength to strength or weakness to weakness. So the more that we can get people from different traditions to come, and the more offerings that we have for courses and so forth, the stronger it is and more attractive it is as an opportunity to bring people of different traditions. So right now, in the numeric minority on our Divinity School campus, though not necessarily at the university at large, students who would affiliate as Hindus are relatively small in number in our midst right now, although they gather for practice. Quakers, we've occasionally had a very strong group of Quakers, and last year we had 2, and they kind of quit. We're just going to go to Quaker meetings here in Cambridge, and we're not going to try and organize things on campus. But if anybody wants to do that again, we have plenty of opportunity to make that happen. So, it really depends on what the class looks like from year to year.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. No, you covered it. That's great. Yes.
Can you talk about telltale signs in a personal statement that indicate to you it's not the right fit?
That's
not by way of insider information, by way of, if I phrase it the opposite way, what is a good fit for the school? It's too generic, it doesn't really,
So one of the things that we look for in a personal, in a statement of purpose, we actually call it a statement of purpose because it's the place where you get to tell us what you've done, sort of how you're academically and professionally, what you're hoping to do, and how HDS fits into that, how we're going to, and so when we're reading the statement of purpose, one of the things that we look for is that you understand the kind of school we are, the pluralistic environment that you would be entering, the flexibility of the curriculum, and so because it is flexible for all our programs, that you have some idea of how you're going to navigate that you have, it's not that it's a plan set in stone and that you can't change, but that you have a direction, that you're sort of, and that you know how HDS and the university as a whole is going to provide you the resources and the classes that you need to fulfill what you're hoping to accomplish. And so those are the things that we're looking for in the statement of purpose. If we don't see that, if it's more of a generic statement that you submitted maybe to other schools like Yale and Vanderbilt, we can tell that. And then what that tells us is that you don't really understand where you're applying, and that maybe we wouldn't be a good fit for you. because you didn't sort of address the things that makes us Harvard Divinity School.
And I think it's important to say here, we are so thrilled that you're considering Harvard Divinity School. As you can tell, we are delighted, and we would love to have you come and leave your fingerprints all over us. That would be awesome. And this might not be everybody's cup of tea, and if you know that you need a school that is going to be exclusively, for instance, in your tradition, if you are an Episcopalian or an Anglican and you really want to be profoundly formed in that tradition, almost not to the exclusion of all others, but with a very clear focus, then the Episcopal Divinity School might be a place that you really want to consider, do you know? Or if you are looking for a Jewish community to study in, Hebrew College here in the BTI is a beautiful and rich place, or Hebrew Union College, or JTS, or any number of such places. What I'm saying is that other schools have many powerful things to recommend them. And if that's what you're attracted to, do look at that. Harvard Divinity School has other obvious things to recommend it, as well as opportunities to go very deep in your own tradition. I really hasten to underline that. That's very important. In some ways, I think it's even easier or more necessary to go deep into your own tradition in a place that has many traditions, because it's not a given. We don't share a common language, and so we ask you to really think critically and hard about why you proclaim what you proclaim. And as you bring that up against conversations with people who are studying Islam and who happen also to be Jewish, or people who are evangelical Christians, or name it, it sharpens your own identity because it's rubbing up against some other identities. So that's important to say. So we might not be we are not the school for everybody, but we are the school for many people. So it's just important that you know that.
How often is there cross-pollination between the different schools within the Harvard campus, specifically like studying specifically, theoretically, I wanted to study in the ed school and the divinity school? Does that happen, or is it?
Yeah. It does. Last year I took a class at the law school, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Revitalizing Urban American Cities with Professor Charles Ogletree. And that's another thing I forgot to talk about. But you have the opportunity to take classes at every school here at Harvard, whether it's the ed school, law school, K school, business school. You have those opportunities, and I think most people would definitely utilize them. I think most students here actually utilize those opportunities to get take a class at the K school on nonprofit management, or to take a law school class. Some people have various interests and want to be able to formulate their own type of studies, and I think Harvard gives you that liberty to do that. I think it's a beautiful thing and a beautiful opportunity. If you're gracious enough to come join us, we'd love to have you, and you should definitely take advantage of all those opportunities.
I would say a large percentage of our students cross-register within Harvard University, with other professional schools and the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, as well as the BTI, the Boston Theological Institute, which is a consortium of schools here in the Boston metro area. And so our students take advantage of that, and it's part of the reason why they come. But it's also a part of, because there is so much to choose from, because of the flexibility of the curriculum, because you have so many options, it also takes someone to take initiative. And so I think it's important to say that the students that are successful here and are able to use their resources and take advantage of it are those that are very proactive, seek out opportunities, knock on doors, email professors, are not hesitant to, if it takes more than once, to email a professor, call them, wait at their door. It takes that kind of proaction and initiative to take advantage of everything that Harvard has to offer. And so those are the students that are very successful here.
I heard one of our students who would fit that bill say not long ago that you have to be a bit of an intellectual and spiritual entrepreneur at Harvard in the university, because it is its own, not just city, it's a country. It's its own civilization. And so you just have to enter it and be a full citizen of it and use your passport to get around.
Yeah, and that's very true. Once you become a student at Harvard Divinity, you really are a student of Harvard. And I know my second semester, I took 2 classes actually in the policy school, and I have now actually integrated myself very much so into the science and technology and society network there at the Kennedy School of Government. And it really did just take emailing your professors and showing interest, no matter whether they're the director of this, the department chair of that. You really just have to take that initiative. But I also noticed that cross-registering for it was very seamless, very easy, and you were able to get certain arts of ministry and certain distribution categories, certain requirements that are necessary for the program to count for those classes that you take. So I definitely found it to be really refreshing, where yeah, you really have this, it's like a kid in a candy shop, where you really can say, well, hey, I think I want to take a class at the law school, and it applies to something that I want to do not only within my tradition, but also expanding and intersecting, you know, a couple of different things. School of Ed, definitely very possible. So I can speak from experience.
And just, you know, something that I experienced. So last night we got to pick our courses for the spring semester, which is my last semester here. Yeah. You know, what you realize is, like, you might not want to cross-register. Like, the courses offered here are really, like, I have 6 courses that I might audit. Like, I'm just like, and they're all from the div school. So, I mean, I mean, I can only speak to, like, Islamic studies, but the quality of the faculty and the classes at the div school is unmatched. And you might really, if you find that thing that you love and that person that you love studying it with, you might not want to cross-register.
Thank you. So, one more question? Last question? Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. If you can please join me in thanking our panelists.